Hey you guys, and welcome back to my channel. Yes, I'm back, and you wouldn't believe that I filmed this entire video and just completely lost the video and I had to refilm everything. So yeah, not the best of starts, but that was a really long video. I'm only hoping that this video is going to be as longer because there's so much to catch up on. I got myself a Lock the Box, which I got like towards the mid half of the start of this year, and I haven't really had a chance to like do an unboxing. I've got so many other unboxing videos that I have to do and some that I'm really excited about. So I really hope that if you're just wanting to see what books are in this box, what did I get, then you can just head down to the description below. I leave in all the books in. But if you want to like sit around, chat, just talk about these books that I got, because I really want to talk about books. It feels like it's been so long. Like you can see, I'm at a different backdrop. This is my new bookshelf, and I have a whole bookshelf tour / new organization for the bookshelf video that I have planned. I have kind of halfway edited it, but I haven't completely completed it. But I really wanted to get these books into my bookshelf, and so I decided to do this unboxing of Lock the Box. So yeah, if you're in for a long popcornish video, then stay around. So this time I got Lock the Box was a little bit different from the time that I last got it. So last time I did a cash on delivery, so I had gone ahead to this place and collected my book box. Whereas this time they did have home delivery with no extra charges. So I opted for that, and I actually promptly got it within I think 3 weeks of ordering my box, which is like a good deal anyway. However, I think the prices of the box have increased. So last time if you had bought the smaller box for $9.99, I think that's now up to like $12.99. This box, which is the orange one, it was initially I think $14.99, but now it's up the price as well. I will leave the prices in the description box below, so you can just compare like the old pricing to the new pricing. But with the fact that it is the new pricing, I really expected that the books, though pre-owned, are still in like good quality, which I don't think all of them are. The last time I got the book box, I think all the books were with impeccable quality, so I was super impressed. I guess when you can't really go and buy the book from like their offline book sale, and knowing that they're pre-owned books, you can actually choose the book that you like, and more often than not these books are like in really good quality, as good as new. But when you do an offline buying of it, you just like add the book to your box, and then until you get it, you don't know the actual quality of it. And I really thought it would be as good as last time, but unfortunately I'm a little disappointed it's not. Having opened this box just like a few minutes ago with my unboxing, which I lost, I actually saw the condition of some of these books, and true to say, I'm not completely impressed. But I got some great books, and let's get right into it. So I'm going to start off with this book on top. I've rearranged it completely, so now I've got some other books on top, some other books in the bottom, but I'm just going to go down the box. So this is Liane Moriarty's 9 Perfect Strangers. I know that this is now developed into a TV series, I think with HBO Max. This is supposed to be one of like the really biggest thrillers of I think last year, and I'm super excited to read this book. It is in a hardback, which I love. It's also this long hardback, which I totally love. However, I don't think it's in the best of qualities, because I can see that it's a little bit like creased and damaged over here a little bit, and that's kind of like a bummer. But the book in itself is like really good quality. There's no issue with the book per se. So yeah, it's still a pass, but I'm excited to read this one. I then got Rumors, a Luke's novel by Anna Godbersen. Now this one I am so excited about, and that's because I have all the other 3 books in this 4-book series, and this is one of the best vintagey 17th century Bridgerton-ish books that I have ever read. I know like Bridgerton is like a big thing I think last year, but now season 2 is coming this year. So if you want something that is of the same vibe but not Bridgerton, then you can definitely try this one. This is a pretty older book, and just look at the cover. It's like mind-numbingly just beautiful and gorgeous. This follows 4 girls in Manhattan Upper East Side, so it's got like a Gossip Girl vibe, except that this is in the 17th century or 18th century if I'm not wrong. and there's like loads of scandal and gossip and romance and thrillers and betrayals and everything that you can expect with this kind of a region novel. So yeah, definitely check this series out if you haven't. The first book in the series is called Loops, and this is the second book, I think, Rumors, and this is an excellent series by Anna Godbusson, and I'm so glad I got my hand on it in the Lock the Box sale, because that was the only book that I was missing from the series. If you want a little bit more insight into the series, let me know in the comments below. I'll do like a whole separate video about the series because I just cannot stop talking. And then I got myself some David Walliams books, like I always do. I'm still going to start off with Awful Auntie. This is, so most of the David Walliams books I have already read, and I just needed to complete my collection, so I went ahead and ordered it. I'm glad I got this in a hardback. However, I don't think this is the greatest of quality, so you can see here that it's like a little bit torn and damaged, but the book in itself is like pretty decent. So I don't want to like totally crib, but this is still a great buy for like the price, so definitely happy with that. I then got Rat Burger by David Walliams. Now this is a paperback, but this seems to be in a really good quality, so I'm happy about that. This follows this cute little girl, Sophie or Zoe, yeah, I remember now, Zoe, and I really like all of these David Walliams books because there's always like a moral towards the end, and if you're a child or a young adult or a middle grader, this is definitely something that you will enjoy. I love going through these books, they're very emotionally interesting as well. So if you haven't read any David Walliams books before, then I can definitely give you loads of recommendations. Maybe not start off with Rat Burger, these are a little bit later in his like works, but if you start off with like his first few books like The Boy in the Dress or Mr. Stink or Blob, even for that matter, they're all like really brilliant. So yeah, I'm a huge David Walliams fan now. So yeah, so I've got another book again by David Walliams, and this is Billionaire Boy. I actually just realized I have Billionaire Boy in my bookshelf already, and this is like actually in really good condition, so I might just like put this up for like a giveaway or a resale or whatsoever. If you're interested in getting into David Walliams and you just need like something to start you off, let me know in the comments below and we can work something out. But if you want to know like what the pretext of this book, and this is about this little boy who is like super rich because his dad found something, and he has like everything in the world except friends. So this whole story is about morally telling people that, you know, having more money doesn't necessarily mean that you have like the best friends. And I think this was so cute. This was a great read. I actually wish I got this in hardback because I don't think I have a hardback of Billionaire Boy. I have like the same paperback, so it's just I don't know why I got this, to be honest, for me, because I already have this book. And then I got this, which these are, I don't know if you've seen these around anywhere, but this is Macbeth and Hamlet by Shakespeare, and this is like this Tony Ross illustrated editions, and I fell completely in love with these. So if you see, this one has like a bit of tone cover on the side, which is really sad because I really wanted to like do a complete collection of this series, and well, not series, all of his books basically, and so I'm going to do that anyways, but I really wish this was in the best of conditions. However, this one here, Hamlet, is in really good condition, and I'm glad about that. So essentially, I love Tony Ross illustrations, and if you see, let me just flip through the book for you, and you can see how like really cute they've illustrated Shakespeare's book and story, and I think that these are some great starter abridged illustrated editions for like little kids, and you know, if you want to start them off with Shakespeare, because obviously reading a Shakespeare unabridged version is completely intimidating for a lot of people, and there are also a lot of abridged versions in between, but for like little kids and tots, I think these books are like a brilliant starter. So I was really excited about this series, and I think I'm just gonna get myself this whole lot once I get a chance. I've then gotten myself an impeccable condition of Cassandra Clare's City of Glass. So if you've been in my channel before, you know that I totally love the Infernal Devices and the Dark Art Devices and the Lost Hours, but the Mortal Instruments, not like the biggest fan, especially because clearly Fairchild is so annoying most of the times, and I'm not her biggest fan, so I never like got through the series at all. But I'm a massive Cassie fan purely because of her other works, and so I saw this and I just bought it. I've read City of Bones like 3 times and I haven't gotten through to the second book. But I think I was a little bit on a hangover from the Mortal Instruments TV series. If you've not seen it, I highly recommend it because it is amazing. I did not know the huge role that Magnus Bane actually plays in this series until I saw that show. And I feel like I missed out on a lot of the story per se, because a lot of the plots are so intricately woven with what I've read in the Dark Art Devices or the Infernal Devices, and I felt like I missed a huge chunk of the story which is woven into the Mortal Instruments. And so I really want to give this series another chance and try and read it again. So I've got with me City of Bones, and I got myself City of Glass this time, and I feel like I'll complete buying this entire edition, all of the series in this, all the editions in the series, and force myself to go through it because I'm pretty sure I'm gonna like it by the end of it. Let me know what your thoughts about are of the Mortal Instruments, and we'll see if our lines cross. The next book I got is Michael Crichton's The Lost World. Now, I've been really meaning to read this book for a very, very long time because this was written a lot of years before Jurassic Park even got made, and the movie is like brilliant, and I just love Michael Crichton's other books. And I haven't read The Lost World, funnily, and I really wanted to read this world that he had woven because I'm pretty sure the books are going to be better than the movies in most cases. So I feel like if the movie was that good, then the book would have been like even amazing. And I wanted to try it out, so I found this and got it, and I'm excited to read this. Probably something that I'll pick up immediately after my current read. And then I've gotten myself From Notting Hill with Love Actually. Now, I have not heard about this book before. This is by Ali McNamara, and this felt like a really sweet, chic, British, very Valentine's Day-ish romance book. And I saw the words Notting Hill and Love Actually, to be honest, and just fell for it, and I thought I should really try it. I also really like the cover. I thought it was really cute and wintry and something that I would love reading towards November, December, when it like gets really cold. Not that it gets really cold where I live, but I like to like feel that it gets cold and then read something so cozy and nice like this book. So I got it with anticipation to read it sometime next month or the month after. If you've heard of this book or you've seen it anywhere, let me know, but I'm trying to keep myself off spoilers and off anything that's going to show me about what this book is about because I just want to go into it with all the feels and see where this book takes me. The next one I got is Roald Dahl's Fantastic Mr. Fox. Now this is purely just for me to complete my Roald Dahl collection. I've been collecting all of his books because I'm a crazy fan, and this was the only book I think that was missing from the lot, and I got it, so I am excited about Fantastic Mr. Fox. The next book I got was The Bloody Chamber by Angela Carter. Now this is a classic I've been meaning to read. I have seen this around. It's not hugely overrated, but at the same time, this is a brilliant novel that, I don't know, I thought it's a great novel to read during like the Halloweenish time, October and November 1st, because even like the picture that you see here is so reminiscent of what Halloween means. So I am excited about this book. Again, I feel like there's a little bit of oldish feelness towards the cover if you see the hardback on the back, and I'm not entirely happy with that. But the book in itself is of great quality, and I love that it's a hardback and it's got like this beautiful illustrations inside. So I'm going to give that a pass, and I'm going to try this book and I'm going to let you know what I think about it. The Next book I got was The Winter of the Witch by Catherine Arden. So this is the, I think, second or this is the third book in the beautiful Winter Night trilogy, and I have heard so much of this book. This book is super hyped everywhere. If you've not heard of it, you must be living under a rock, because this book was everywhere last year. And I have like the second book in the series. The first book is The Bear and the Nightingale. I haven't really started reading that book, but again I got this because this is going to be a great winterish read, because it takes place with like in a Russian wintry area with like Russian folklore imbibed in it, and I am super excited to read this during winter because this is just a gorgeous wintry cover in itself. Talking about the book, I think this is a hardback, which I was not expecting, and I really like that it's a hardback and it's of really good quality. It's beautiful, it looks as good as new, and I'm so happy with how this book turned out. Considering that it was one of my favorites when I had added it into the cart, now that I can recollect, I think I'm super happy with that. Next book I got is again something exciting, which is Catwoman Soul Stealer by Sarah J. Maas. So I wanted to read this series where there's like, I think, Superman and then Batman and then Catwoman. So like these are like separate books and written by separate people. I think Mari Blue wrote one. I don't remember who wrote the other book, but I've been meaning to read this for like ever. I saw this and I immediately grabbed it. So the thing with the Lock the Box is that if you see a book, I highly advise that you add it to your cart and then find other books that you'd like to add and check it out as soon as you can. Because sometimes they have like only one or two books of the same like book, and if you miss it, it won't come back again. And then there's no point like going through the entire large collection of their site. This time they had like more books than the last time. So I remember the last time I could go unto like the 125th page, and each page had like at least 15 to 20 books. But this time I think I went past 300 pages, scrolling and scrolling for books. So it's going to be really overwhelming, and so I highly recommend that if you find a book you like, to add it into your basket and then figure out what you want to do as soon as possible later on. So yeah, excited about this book. If you've read it, let me know what you think. I'm going to get to this soon. The next book I got is Talent by Julie Kagawa, and sometimes I'm just amazed how many of these books actually fit in this box. This box doesn't look huge per se, it's just like that yay big, but I've already gone through at least 15 to 20 books, and they're all like, well, most of them are like huge, and I've still got a few big books to go through, so I am surprised. So this is a Julie Kagawa book that I have been wanting to read for some time. I have read her other books like the Iron Face series, and I enjoyed it. It kind of felt like I'd read so many of the stuff that was there in her book in like other books, but I think purely in the book's defense, that book came out much earlier than all the other books I've read. So clearly it was just a little bit older. Now I wanted to read this series, which is the Talent series, and I'm excited for this. I don't know what it's about, but I know it has dragons, and you can see that from the cover. So I was so super excited to start reading this series. If you've read this, let me know what you think in the comments below. The next book I've got is Hex Hall by Rachel Hawkins. I don't know if you've heard of this book before. It's super underrated, but it's one of like the coolest series I've read at least 5-6 years back. This follows 3 girls in like this academy for vampires and witches, and there is a lot of spells and cauldrons and everything that you can expect for a Halloween setup that happens in this book. I enjoyed this series so much. I think there are 4 or 5 books in the series. So when I saw this in the Lock the Box sale, I immediately grabbed it. This is the first book in the series. So if you want to try something new, something very witchy for Halloween, I recommend this series. And then I got myself, what is this? Heck, Where Do the Bad Kids Go? So I saw this really cute middle grade book, and I loved the cover. I think it looks so attractive, and I just grabbed it immediately. I have no idea what this book is about. I did not even good read it. I just know that this is a middle grade book and it has no illustrations, surprising. But it looks really good, and it looks like there are a lot of books that follow Heck. So have you heard of this book? If you have, let me know in the comments below. I will definitely go through this book. This is by Dale E. Bassier, and if I enjoyed it, I will definitely let you know. But yeah, this is another great book that I feel I picked up in this sale. The next book I got is Goosebumps. So I'm actually just trying to up my Goosebumps collection, so I don't necessarily see which Goosebumps book I'm picking because I like all of them and I just add them to the basket if I have space in the box. So I just got this one. So this one says The Ghost Next Door. Reader beware, you're in for a scene. So I don't know what this is about. Then again, it's a Goosebumps book, so it's gonna be scary. And I think that some of these Goosebumps books are like really good. R.L. Stine is a brilliant middle grade horror author, and you should, if you haven't read Goosebumps, you should definitely check any book out. All of them are equally good. I'm just gonna add this to my Goosebumps collection. And then I got some tidbits. So I got Bambi from the Walt Disney Ladybird Classic. This is in really good condition, as good as new. So I'm really happy about that. I also got Alice in Wonderland, which is also in a really good condition. Again, it's a Ladybird Classic. I was just trying to make sure that I have the entire Ladybird Classic collections because I just completely love this collection. They're so cute, and I love these Disney illustrated pictures and all of that you see in the movie itself. So I already have like quite a few books around this whole Ladybird Classics, and I just added the ones that were missing. And then I got Aladdin, and this is the one that I am super disappointed about. So this is again a Ladybird Classic, and if you can see this, you can see how bad this book is. Now I can't even open this book because I think it got wet. I don't know, but it cannot get more bad than this. So this book is a complete waste of space in this box. Granted, it's like really small, and I probably couldn't have fitted anything else in it, but I really was excited about Aladdin because I think this was the only other classic that I was missing from the Ladybird collection, and I was really upset to get something like this. This probably just go direct to, like, I don't know, the bin, because I really can't do anything about this book. And this is what bummed me the most about this box. I think that this book was right on top and maybe it got splashed with rain or something. I don't know, but if there was a way that this box could have been packaged better, maybe this book could have been saved. But this is where we are. So that concludes my unboxing. There we go. I went through all of the books in this box. I think I probably had about 15 odd books or 20 odd books. I will put that in the title and the description just so you're aware of what all books are there and what you like to read. I am so excited that I was able to get through this Lock the Box unboxing with you. My complete viewpoint on this is it's still a great place to buy the pre-owned books. I guess if you go directly to the offline sales that they have, then you can probably choose the books you want and you can put them in. But because this is completely online, there's a little bit of gray line as to how the condition of the books are going to be. Last time I did it and all the books that I got were brilliant. But this time, even though the price was bumped up, I got some really bad books, and this one was like a deal breaker. So there we are. That is my review and unboxing of Lock the Box. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and hit like. I will see you in another video. I've got some brilliant unboxings lined up for you, so if you want to stick around, I'll be more than grateful. Thank you and have a nice day. Bye.